dive. So, if you've been on this journey with us, you've got the blueprints down. We've talked about the subject, the object, the state, and of course, the state of being.
We've laid all the foundational pillars.
Exactly. But we haven't just, defined the parts. We've really set the stage. And now we're moving into synthesis. This whole deep dive is about seeing that these pieces aren't just static ideas on a whiteboard. They are in constant, furious motion. We're here to look at the engine that drives it all.
The perfect way to put it. Today, we are dissecting what we're calling the dynamic interplay. This is, it's the core operating system. It's the one process that shows how your inner world, your consciousness, actually creates your outer reality.
And for anyone who's felt stuck, this is it. This isn't just another technique.
No, this is the architecture itself. It's the mechanism.
Okay, so let's unpack this engine. And I think the best place to start is, why does it so often stall out? We've touched on this before, how every thought has an electrical charge and every feeling, a magnetic resonance.
And together, they create this incredibly powerful, continuous feedback loop.
Right, but what a lot of people miss, what I think goes unnoticed, is the physical side of this.
When you keep repeating that same loop, let's say you think stressful thoughts, that produces stress hormones, which then makes you feel anxious.
And your body, which is all about efficiency, just learns that pattern.
It does. It starts to memorize that emotional response so completely that it doesn't even wait for the thought anymore. It just starts driving the thinking automatically.
So you're saying the body it's running old programs.
Exactly. It holds the emotional data of the past. So if you're not consciously choosing a new state, the body just defaults to what it knows. And that brings us to this really dramatic realization. The body becomes the unconscious mind.
Wow. So that conditioned emotional state is what literally anchors you to your past circumstances. So if we want to break that cycle, if the body's running the show, we have to consciously flip the whole process upside down. Otherwise, we're just stuck in that powerless position.
And that's where this next idea, the inversion of causality, becomes so critical. Most of us, we wait for an external object, a new job, more money, whatever, to make us feel abundant or happy.
We wait for the outer world to change our inner world.
Yes. You're waiting for the effect, which makes you, just the effect of your environment. You're a reactor.
You're just a reactor, not a creator.
The inversion of causality completely flips that model. It says your inner world is the cause. The solution, then, is embodiment.
Embodiment, so not waiting.
Not waiting. You generate the elevated emotions of the reality you want now before you see any proof of it.
So this isn't just like wishful thinking. This is energetic work. If I want to feel financially secure, I can't look at my bank account and feel stressed.
You can't.
The inversion means I have to generate the feeling of profound security and abundance right now, today, even if nothing on the outside has changed one bit.
Precisely. And you have to generate that new state of being, that gratitude, that peace, with an intensity that's actually greater than your current circumstances.
Why greater?
Because that's what impresses it on the subconscious. You're telling your system that the desired reality is already realized.
So the feeling isn't the goal. The feeling is the mechanism.
The feeling is the cause. Your inner state becomes the active cause, broadcasting a new frequency that literally reorganizes your external world to match it. You stop waiting for the effect and you start being the cause.
That's a huge shift, and it brings up a really interesting distinction. I think this is where a lot of people get tripped up. The difference between wanting something and being something.
It's everything.
Because we spend so much of our lives wanting wealth, wanting love. It feels positive, right? Why is that desire actually working against us?
Well, because your state of being is your energetic signature, right? It's the combination of your thoughts and feelings. When you are in a state of wanting, what are you really feeling?
Lack, that you don't have it.
Exactly. You're broadcasting separation. You're focused on what's missing. And the universe doesn't respond to your words. It responds to your frequency.
So it just hears lack and gives you more of it.
Absolutely. But when you shift to embodying the feeling of joy or abundance, you broadcast a frequency of realization. You send the signal that it's already here.
So the universe responds not to what you want, but to who you are being.
That is the core principle. And that's where your real power, your agency, is found.
Okay, so let's talk about maintaining that. Because it's one thing to feel abundant for 5 minutes in meditation. But what happens when an unexpected bill shows up? You get triggered. You collapse back into fear. How do you stop yourself from getting lost in the object and losing that state of being?
That's the moment we lose our power. It's when we unconsciously identify with those fleeting thoughts, those negative emotions, and we believe that they are us. We lose our awareness.
So what's the move?
You have to return to your role as the subject, conscious observer.
And there's a really clear two-step process for this. First step, observe. You have to step back into what's called witness consciousness and just watch that limiting feeling without judgment.
You see it as a transient thing you're experiencing, not who you are.
And then step two is release. You intentionally relax your body and just allow the feeling to pass through you without fighting it.
Yes, without resistance. Resistance is what gives it energy. It's what locks it in.
But wait, how is that different from suppression? If I just allow anxiety to be there, isn't that just ignoring it?
That's a great question. It's a crucial distinction. Suppression is pushing it down, pretending it's not there. That keeps the energy trapped.
Okay.
Release is acknowledging it without engaging. You see the feeling, you observe it, and you consciously relax your body around it. You're signaling to your nervous system that the threat is over.
That's so powerful. So what's the big payoff for mastering this kind of non-resistance?
The energy you were using to resist, it's not destroyed. It gets transmuted back to you, the subject, as elevated emotions.
So all that energy I was using to fight anxiety,
It becomes available to fuel the state you do want. It strengthens your creative power.
this all seems to map out a clear evolutionary path. We're moving away from that forceful hustle mentality and into something more like inspired flow. And the source material lays out 4 very clear stages for this progression.
It's a mandatory sequence of transformation. It has to happen in this order. And the loop always begins with
Thinking and feeling, the stimulus. This is the start of it all. Your thoughts are the electrical charge, your feelings are the magnetic one. But if this is all unconscious, the body just memorizes it and locks you into the past.
And when you're locked in that past state, that leads you right into stage 2, doing the response. Your actions are now being driven by those limited emotions: fear, lack, unworthiness.
You're operating from survival mode.
Pure survival, fight, flight, freeze. It compels you to push, to struggle, to hustle, and you create so much resistance because the body is leading the mind.
So to break that cycle, you have to hit the 3rd stage, becoming, the process of transmutation. This is where you consciously interrupt that loop. This is the inversion of causality in action.
Right. You intentionally choose the elevated emotions of your future first. You become the person you want to be before you have any reason to.
And if you can sustain that, if you can really live there.
You arrive at the final destination.
Yeah.
Being the transformation. This is the state of sustained, coherent embodiment. It's your new state of being.
And the need for force just dissolves.
It disappears. Inspired action just arises effortlessly from a state of flow. The universe is now responding to who you are being, and it brings the circumstances to you.
So mastery isn't some one-time event. It's about the sustained embodiment of this new state. It's about choosing to be the cause.
It is the continuous loop that governs reality. It's the whole journey from being an unconscious reactor to becoming a fully intentional creator.
Okay, to bring this all home, let's crystallize the entire architecture. We have to recite the full loop of the dynamic interplay. This is the mechanism that ties it all together.
Let's build it first. It all starts with the observer, the subject, looking at their current reality, the object.
And through that, becoming aware of their current state, the patterns they're stuck in.
And that awareness gives the subject the power to consciously choose a new internal state. New thoughts, new feelings.
Which then reconditions the body to a new mind.
And that new mind and reconditioned body align to embody a whole new destiny.
Now, for the full loop, this is what you are doing all the time, consciously or not. The subject observes the object, becomes aware of its current state, and through that awareness is empowered to consciously choose new thoughts and feelings, new state of being that reconditions the body to a new mind, aligning it to embody a new destiny.
That is the ultimate shift. When your inner state consistently reflects the reality you desire, your outer world literally has no choice but to reorganize itself to match that coherence.
A truly powerful synthesis of everything we've covered in this series. So here is a final question for you to reflect on as you integrate all of this. In what ways has your current state of being contributed to the cause of the reality you are experiencing in this present moment? And what patterns of the past are you ready to surrender in order to become who you are becoming?
A great question to sit with.
If you want to go deeper on these ideas, you can find more articles just like this by visiting the website, mysticalabundance.blogspot.com. That's mysticalabundance.blogspot.com. You can also connect on social media. The handle is @mysticalabundance1111.
Thank you for joining us.
We really hope this series has empowered you. If you enjoyed this conversation, please like, comment, subscribe, and of course, share this deep dive with your friends.